Welcome. How we doing? Welcome to the live stream. I'm Rob, and I'm hoping you can hear me. Can I get a thumbs up from people that says you can hear me? Let me just double check some things. It looks like my audio is working. This is the thing I have the most trouble with. Adam, hello Adam. How you doing? Welcome, and thank you for confirming the audio is working. One thing I noticed last week, Ed Fultz says, I can hear you. Renee, hello Renee. Thumbs up. And hello Ed. Welcome guys. Thanks for stopping in. I was going to say, one thing I noticed from last week's episode, I kind of looked at it afterwards, my volume was really low on the mic. I know you can turn your volume up on your device or your computer, but what I noticed was in comparison to when I played a video or audio within Camtasia, that volume was quite a bit louder than my speaking volume. So I think I've addressed that today. So hopefully that'll work better today. So every week I learn something new. This is all cool stuff and a lot going on. So so that's that. Hello, Pam Powers. You can hear me too. Great. Awesome. Thanks for stopping in. Where's everybody tuning in from today? I know where some of you are from. Always like to hear where people are tuning in from if you're watching this live. If you're watching this on the replay in the future, obviously you can't answer. You can leave a comment below and let me know. So very good. Adam is in Vermont. Very good. I don't think I knew that. That's not that far from where I am in Nova Scotia. Ed Fultz, Knoxville, Tennessee. Very good. I don't think I've been to Knoxville. I've been to Memphis, I've been to Nashville, and I've driven through Tennessee, but not Knoxville. Hope the weather is fine wherever you guys are from. Pam Powers is from Central California. I think I knew that. That's great. Hopefully you're having great weather there. And Renee is from Denmark. That's right too. Welcome back, Renee. Denmark across the pond. A little bit later over there. 6 o'clock in the evening, I believe. It's 2 o'clock here in Atlantic Canada time. Wherever you're watching from, welcome and thanks for stopping in. Again, I'm going to try to do this every week. So far, so good. And then this week, let me just pull up a little bit of a table of contents I prepared. There you go. That's what I'm going to go over with today. Of course, this could change depending on what questions you may have for me as we go through this. But just a quick little recap. Since I went live last Tuesday, I've posted 3 videos. So Wednesday, I came out with the clip speed video. And then Friday, the color grading video where I showed you how to color grade in Camtasia. A lot of people think, oh, you need more complex software like DaVinci Resolve or Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro in order to properly color grade. And although they have more robust color grading tools, you can do a lot with what's in Camtasia. And the video I released on Friday only kind of scratched the surface, just did the basic color grading. But again, you can make a video look a whole lot better with just a few little clicks and changes. It doesn't have to be all that involved. And then yesterday, clip speed, color grading video. The color grading I think was last Wednesday. Clip speed was last Monday. Sync audio to video I came out with on Friday. Just going through how to sync video with audio and the screen, all 3 together. You basically do it by the audio. And again, if you guys have any questions about any of these that I've released or am about to release, let me know. And I can go over it here. I can demonstrate here on my screen and share it with you guys. Today's plan, I had 3 things, and time permitting, we'll go through all of those. But I had a question. Somebody wanted to know how I did my custom transition. And he was referring to the transitions that I do in my video when I kind of slide myself off to the side and then text slides in. I have a transition that happens there, and it's not a prepackaged transition that you get in Camtasia. It's something I built with animations and whatnot. So I can quickly show you how I did that. YouTube thumbnails, somebody asked me how I make my YouTube thumbnails. I'm going to share my Canva screen with you and just kind of show you how I do that. We won't necessarily go in depth step by step. That might take longer than we have time for today. But I use Canva to make my thumbnails. Custom paper tear, thanks to Pamela, she asked how we could make a custom, like a call out on the screen that looks like torn paper edges all around it. So I did a little bit of research and figured out how I would go about doing that. Now, again, there may be more than one way to do things here in Camtasia. So my way may not be the only way. It may not even be the best way. So, but I can show you what I do. And so how I would approach that. And then, so that is, let me just bring it all up here. And then upcoming videos. So I've already got, so the cloning yourself video, I released that yesterday. And it's actually doing quite well. So last week I went through how to clone yourself in this live stream, and I kind of walked through how I built that. And it was well received. I had also made a reel or a short about that, how to do that. Not how to do that. I made a short that was that resulting video. So what I did is I made a long form video, and I think it's around 12 minutes, something like that. And I posted it yesterday as to exactly how to go through and do that if you wanted to do something similar. Again, I'm not sure why you'd want to clone yourself in a video. There's some cool reasons, some cool effects you could probably get out of that, but it's not something probably many people will use a lot. It's just kind of a neat trick. And it does show you that, if you put some thought behind what you want to do in Camtasia, you could accomplish quite a bit. So that came out yesterday, and then I've got 4 more written here under upcoming videos. And these aren't videos I plan to do. These are videos I've already made. I made them up to yesterday. And these 4 videos are already uploaded to YouTube, and I've got them scheduled to come out. Tomorrow morning is the YouTube chapters one, how to add chapters to your YouTube videos. That one's going a little off topic. This channel is primarily about how to edit videos in Camtasia. However, it doesn't have to be only about that. It's also, I feel like anybody who is working in Camtasia may also be interested in some of these other things, like you may be creating videos for YouTube and you want to know how to upload a video to YouTube. That's on my to-do list. I haven't made a video on that yet, but just basic things like that get you going in YouTube. So this will be my first one on YouTube, how to create chapters. It's a relatively short video, and you can see that tomorrow. Animated color wipe. You would have seen this in the intro to my color grading tutorial video that I launched last week. So on Friday, I'll come up with a video that shows you how I made that. It's fairly simple. And then next week, pro level zoom and pan. So I go a little more in depth with zoom and pan animations that I do in Camtasia in my tutorial videos. And then Google Drive next week. Again, another one a little bit off topic, but if you're making and editing videos in Camtasia, perhaps you have to send large video files to clients or to other people, collaborators. Google Drive is an excellent way to do that, even if the person you're sending to doesn't have a Google Drive account. So I have a Google Drive account, and I use it to send my clients completed videos that I've edited for them. I have an account, but my clients may or may not. So that video will show you how to use Google Drive even if the recipients don't have Google Drive. Yes, so that is on today's to-do list. Again, at any point, ask me a question in the live chat and I will answer you. We don't have to follow this exactly, and we can kind of see where things go. So let me just quickly check. I see a message came in here in the chat. Adam says, have you heard anything about what is coming out with a new Camtasia? I think you should do an unboxing video again when it's released. I liked last year's event. Absolutely 100%. I've reached out to Camtasia and I haven't gotten a concrete answer back. Basically, I'll know when everybody else knows is kind of the answer I was given. Now, I didn't do an unboxing video last year for 2023. I did do one in 2022 in June. And that was kind of my last video before I kind of went silent for a year. You know, I moved and just a whole bunch of stuff was going on. Yes, I had a lot of people tune in to that live stream, and it went very well. And I believe I did that unboxing on the day it came out. So I think I got a couple of days notice. So as we get closer, hopefully I will have a couple days notice. But regardless, as soon as it's out, I'm going to be right into it. And not only will I go live and kind of go through all of the new features, and we can probably learn them together, because obviously if I don't have an advanced copy of it, I'm going to be learning them with you. So we'll try to figure it out together. And then the videos that I release from that point onwards will be done with Camtasia 2024, the latest version. The look and the feel of, so what do I know about it? Not much. I have some guesses. I have a wish list. There's things I'd love to see, but I don't know. Yeah, if you guys have anything you'd like to see, feel free to throw it in the chat. Let me know what you'd like to see, and see if it kind of aligns with what I'd like to see. One thing I'll just tell you, one thing I'd love to see is something along the lines of keyframing. Okay, so keyframing as it's done in Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve is not available in Camtasia. This is for animations. So let's say, for example, you wanted to animate something onto the screen. So with Camtasia 2023, you would go up and drop down. Well, here, let me just show you. Let's go into Camtasia here. This is, wait now, let me just quickly open something up here. What am I going to go for? What the heck? We'll open up the YouTube chapters video that I made that's coming out tomorrow. So let me just get situated here. Let's go to fit. So let's just come here to, if I wanted to animate, say, this screen, okay, let me just bring this up. Okay, let's just, this clip, oh no, this one here, this is the screen. You'd come up here to animations. I always use the custom animation, so you'd, as opposed to some of the preset ones. You'd bring that down, and then let's just zoom in a bit here. So the screen, if you wanted to animate this, you'd change the properties at the beginning, at the end, and then it will animate. So the only control you have over to how it animates on is if you right-click the animation and then go down to animation easing. You can have it set to none, which means it would be linear. The animation would occur like linearly, okay? Actually, one second here. This is probably not, I can do this much better here. Let's just go ahead and bring in a shape. Okay, here's a shape. Let's give it a color. It's blue. Okay, blue shape. And then let's drop an animation on it. Wait, no, animation, custom animation, right here. Okay, let's say the beginning. I'm going to hold down Shift so I drag it perfectly horizontally off the screen. So there's your animation. Animates onto the screen. So now let's talk about easing. So easing, exponential in and out is selected. So that's like easing in and easing out. So the speed starts slow, speeds up, and then slows down and comes to a nice gentle stop. So if you want to see that again, okay. Actually, let's just let's put it here Just this be easier so you can see the whole thing there. All right, that's easing. With easing, now if we change the animation to none, okay, see the difference? It's just the speed is constant, okay? So, and then there's a couple other small things you can do. You could do spring type animation, so it kind of springs like that, or you can do bounce, so it bounces like that. Okay, I don't use those two very often. The one I like the most is this exponential. So keyframing, if they could include keyframing, that would mean I would have total control over the easing, the speed. I can vary the speed of the animation, beginning, end, middle, wherever. Okay, but really, there's only two possible places you can set properties for animations right now in Camtasia. So the beginning and the end. You can't change it. You don't have any more control than that. Now, for the most part, that's fine. But there are some cases where it would be nice to have a little more control over that. Having said all that, I have no idea if they're going to release that in the next version. They may not. In fact, I'd be surprised, I think, if they did, just because that could get fairly complicated fairly quickly. And that's perhaps one of the things one of the things I love about Camtasia is its simplicity, right? It is there's a lot of things that are a lot easier than some of the more robust video editing programs like Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve. So yeah, that's one thing that they could add. They could also add some more custom caption options. Okay, so like I'm talking about the TikTok or the short videos that you typically see with captions kind of like popping on the screen and colors, maybe having an outline around text a different color than, probably makes more sense to show myself here, so text that pops on the screen, and then having a different outline color than you do have the fill color for text, being able to vary all those things. Shorts and reels are way more popular now than they used to be, and they're only getting more and more popular. So having the ability to create custom captions like that right in Camtasia would be amazing. Right now, I would use something like CapCut to do that. That's another, it's a free editing software owned by TikTok, actually. Or DaVinci Resolve. You can do some things in DaVinci Resolve with that. You have more control. Subtitles, the ability to move subtitles vertically or even horizontally. Right now, the subtitles are always in Camtasia. They're always at the bottom of the screen. And you don't have any freedom to move them up and down. I have a little trick that I do to achieve that, and I've created a video on that. You can find that on my channel. Probably 2 years ago, I made that video. But it's kind of cumbersome. It takes some time to do that. So it'd be nice to be able to, I don't know why it would be all that difficult just to be able to move them up and down, but maybe it's more, I'm not a programmer, so maybe it's harder than I think. Yeah, so yeah, if there's anything else you guys would like to see, I'd love to hear it. But 100%, I will do an unboxing video as soon as I can, perhaps the day it's released, and we can go through it together. And then I'll come out with videos on all of the new things in that version. When do I think it's coming out? So last year, I believe it was April 2023 when 2023 came out. The year before it was June in 2022. So it's going to be sometime soon. Yeah, I'll keep my ear to the ground. I'll try to find out when it is, and you'll be the first to know when I know. Okay, so if there's no other questions, let's, what do I got written down here for today? So custom transitions. Do you guys want to start with that? Custom transitions, YouTube thumbnails, and custom paper tear. Let me go find the custom transitions, and I will show you how I do that. So I'm just going to open up a pre-existing project. This is a fairly small one. Okay. No, didn't open. Try this again. Okay. Here we go. I will share my screen. Okay, so this is the slow motion video I made. So incidentally, most of the videos, all of the videos I've made in the last 2 weeks for YouTube, I've made them in Camtasia. There's a few videos on my channel that I use DaVinci Resolve to make them, but all of the latest ones have been made in Camtasia. So actually, Renee says, have you thought more about how to make a line that shows process flow? I have, Renee, and I don't know how to do it. You've stumped me. So I'm going to have to defer that perhaps to next week now. So I don't know how to do that short of having some sort of a pre-made animation that you then is already a video that you can then bring into the Camtasia project. But yeah, sorry about that. I will have to get back to you with that. I'm still researching how to do that. Okay, so I haven't forgotten about you. Okay, so the custom transition. I'll show you what it is. In the most recent videos, it's been something that I've added at the end. And it is right here. So let me just play this. You can see this. And then back to the regular speed. If there's anything else you'd like to know how to... Okay, first of all, a question. You just heard my voice in that video. Was that lower than the voice you're hearing from me now? That's what I would love to know, because that's what I kind of messed up last week. That voice was way too loud compared to my regular talking voice. So Adam says much lower. So the video was much lower? You can't hear it much at all. Okay, I can turn it up. Let's try that. Okay, so this side, we want to slow this, or we want to speed this side up. Can you hear that? And is it still lower than me talking now? Yes, you can hear it? Okay, cool. Cool. Just let me know if you want me to turn that up again. I can turn that volume up even louder. Sounds good. No, it's louder. Okay, cool. Awesome. All right, so that's what I want. So I'll have to take note of what these settings are. Actually, I can just leave it there in OBS. I'm using OBS to live stream this. Side note, next week, I believe, and I think I said this last week, and I just never got time to get around to it. Next week, I'm going to use Ecamm Live. It's a different software. It's not free, but there's the one main thing that I'm having trouble doing with OBS. I got it to work a couple times, but I haven't been able to since. That's me being able to click a chat message that you put in the chat and have it appear on screen. I love that. And that's easy to do with StreamYard, which I've used before as well, or Ecamm Live. So I've used StreamYard, I've used OBS, I'm going to try Ecamm, and it's good to try all these out. So hopefully next week I'll have that all set up. So now here is the transition. If there's anything else you'd like to know how... Okay, do you see that? All we're talking about here is the way everything kind of swiped over to the left. And you can see here, let me just move my face out of the way. Up there. That's not a good spot. It's going to hide the properties. Anyways, let's put it there for now. So you can see here in the group, this is a group. So let me right click this and ungroup this so you can see what's going on in here. Now I'm going to have to stretch this up. Try to make this make as much sense as possible to you guys. Look at that. There's a lot of things going on in there. Okay, so let me just zoom in so you can see this a little bit better. Now, the reason for a lot of these is all of the different text that I have in the screen. Okay? Can you guys see that okay? Is that all right? You can kind of see that? Let's just play this through.
If there's anything else you'd like to know how to do in Camtasia, let me know in the comments below. I live stream Camtasia tutorials at 1 p.m. Tuesdays for about an hour. I do demo requests and...
Okay, and then at the end, I don't animate it back. I just cut to a full screen shot of myself.
Live stream. I'm Rob from Rob.
Okay, so again, so what's going on here? I've got, let's just move the playhead here. So before anything starts, let's go right over here into the middle here. So this here is the background. So let me just turn this on and off, and you can kind of see the difference that it makes. So that's with it off, that's with it on. Okay, so that is just a background that I put behind everything, and I turned the opacity down to 25%. So it's really a much darker or much brighter video than what you see here. It's just something, it's an overlay that just gives it some fluid motion, okay? And that is, all that is if we come up here, it's this here. Let's drag this down here so you can kind of see what it is. It's this, okay? And what that is it's a motion background that I downloaded from Motion Array, okay? motionarray.com, I got a link below to that if anyone is interested in trying that out. That's where I get most of my music from now, and sound effects and motion graphics. You can also get a lot of free motion graphics through Camtasia, through their assets, and there's also paid, better looking ones that you can get if you want to sign up for TechSmith's Camtasia Assets program. I don't currently have that myself, but so yeah, that's what that was. So let me just delete that. So that's what this is here. I dropped it down here. Turn down the opacity, and now the next layer on top of that is this here, the Camtasia logo, which I dragged down to the corner. You can see it there, and that as well I turned the opacity down to 30%. See that? Okay, so I've got that, and that's just a static image. Okay, and even though this motion background is in the track below the Camtasia logo, which means it's behind the Camtasia logo, because the Camtasia logo is 30% opacity, right? 70% see-through, in other words, you can see the motion background behind it. Okay? Then we have a shape, and that's part of that is part of my transition. Another shape, and then my video. Okay? So those are the three things. These things right here are the three things that make up the transition. Okay? So let's slowly go through this. You can kind of see the three shapes. There's the video on top. The middle one is this blue shape, and the bottom one is the white shape. Okay? And then these things everything up above that, all this stuff here is all the text flying in. See, I have all the you can see it better if I zoom this. All of the animations are kind of staggered, so they start at different times. And as you drag the playhead over them, you can see how different parts of the different pieces of text show up at different times. So the first one was live stream. That's this one here. Okay, and then I have this popping up. That's my web address down at the bottom. And then this, the every Tuesday. And then this, the next one, 1 p.m. And then this is just a line. Okay, you can see that there. And then up further, you've got that. That's live Camtasia tutorials. Now there's something going on with that one. You can see this arrow here. If you click up there, you can see that I added a sliding behavior to that. It's an animation, but it's a behavior where you have a little more control over animations. You can change the in, the during, and the out of the behaviors. So the way I set this one up is the in is a sliding motion. It's an object type of sliding motion. So that just means the whole thing slides in as an object and not individual text letters in the text. The movement is ease out. The direction is right, and then the speed. And then during, I have a wiggle style. So what that is, you can kind of see, if you just look at this live Camtasia tutorials, how it's kind of floating around. That's the wiggle behavior, okay? And there's all kinds of different ones you can choose. So I chose wiggle. Again, type was object and not text. If it was text, oh, wait now, come here, cat. Don't go back there. Cat keeps getting behind my computer and she's going to pull stuff out. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, so where was I? The wiggle effect. Yeah, each letter would kind of wiggle on its own instead of the whole thing wiggling, if that makes sense. And you can change all kinds of things about that. I'm getting off track a little bit. This wasn't about how to do behaviors. So just quickly, there's the Q&A. I also added the wiggle and the sliding behavior to that one. And then this is a sketch motion that goes around the time. And then all of those things end at the same time. But let's get back to these three things here that make that transition happen. So you can see they all come on screen at the same time, and that is right after here. That is right after I stop the tutorial. Okay, the tutorial is over, and then I cut to this, and almost immediately it starts sliding. So let's zoom right in and see what's going on. Okay, so as you've probably guessed, it's these three animations. Okay, so you can look at where they started. They all start here. They all start, you can highlight them and you can see the white box around as to where they are. Okay, and if I hid myself, there you can see the blue one underneath, and if I hide that one, you can see the white one underneath that. Okay, if you hide that, then you can see the motion background behind everything. Okay, so we'll bring the white one on, and then I added an animation that just animates it over to there. Now, there's two ways you can do that animation. You can either slide the whole box off the screen, or you can animate the box smaller, like leave the left edge of it stationary and slide this over, okay? And I honestly can't remember which way I did it because they both look the same. So, but the way to know is if I click the end here, I can still see that the box is here. So I shrunk it. I left the left edge stationary. Okay, so now we can see how that worked. Okay, now the blue one, let's hide that one and show the blue one. Same thing. Right, I just slid that over, but I slid it to a slightly different place. Right, like I have the animation of the blue one starting before the white, and that means the blue one will kind of start to get out of the way, and then you can see some of the white. Okay, they eventually almost catch up to each other, and I could have made them perfectly catch up to each other because, but I didn't want to. I wanted to show some of the white line when the animation was done. Same thing with the blue. I wanted to show some of the blue when the animation of me, the video, was finished. And I'll just show that one on screen now. So there's the animation of myself. So same thing. I started that animation of myself sliding over before the blue one and before the white one. Okay? And also, again, let's highlight this to see how I animated it. And you'll see I did two things. So we start with the shot fully framed, like the entire screen, covering the entire screen. And then the ending properties of that, let's just highlight that. The left edge, I slid it over. I didn't crop it or anything. But the right edge, I cropped it in as well. Okay? And the reason I did that is if I just slid it over, there would be all of this space beside me, right? Here in the way. What do you want? Just relax. Lie down. The cat's being annoying today. You see that? So that was a slide plus a crop. Okay, it did a combo animation there. All right, and yeah, so that's how I did that. And then I group it all together. Adam says, and I apologize if you wrote this quite a while ago, I've just seen it now, is the animation set to E exponential? Hopefully, are you talking about for these boxes? Let's just go check it out. The animation, we'll right click, easing, exponential in and out, yes. Yes, and actually, because if it wasn't, that's exponential in and out. And so, yeah, all three of them are exponential in and out. And if I didn't, then if you notice, like right here, if you notice the distance between my video and the blue square, right? You can see the distance there. And then the distance here is larger. As I'm moving this playhead, that distance is varying, right? It starts off as being, they're right on top of each other, and then they start spreading apart a little bit until you're about halfway through all the animations. And then as you start reaching the end of it, they're closing up again. So if I had those set to linear, I'll just do it and I'll show you what it looks like. Set all these to linear, so which means none. I call it linear. It's none is what Camtasia calls it, but it is linear. And we'll change this one to none as well. And now let's just see. Okay, now let's just watch this.
If there's anything else you'd like to know how to do.
So a little clunkier. So a couple things. First of all, if you watch the way it starts like it's already moving. Okay?
If there's anything else you'd like to know how to do.
And then it stops very abruptly. So that's one thing that I don't like about linear. Or none. No easing is what they mean by none. But the other thing is the distance here remains relatively the same. They would have been exactly the same if these animations all started and ended at the same, or if they were all the same length, right? So you can play around with those, but see, they all start at different, I mean, this one starts here, and then this one starts, and this one starts. Now, two of them I have ending at the same place. So you just kind of play around with them. You can achieve some really neat effects. And the other thing is, the reason I chose blue, I mean, that blue is part of my branding. I haven't done much with that yet, but like my website and whatnot is predominantly blue, and that's the accent color I use. So that's why I chose that. So you can use whatever color you want. Typically, you'd set up an animation like this to match your branding, right? So if you have an orange and white logo, you'd use orange and white. Actually, you can use white with just about anything. If your logo colors are orange and black, you could use orange, black, and white, say, right? And you decide what you want that to look like. Okay? So that is how I did that custom transition. And I could probably save this as an effect and then save it to my library. I say probably because I'm not good at doing that. I have a way of doing things that would probably save me a lot of time. And for anybody just starting out with Camtasia, I encourage you to do things like that. Save templates and save, like package these up and save it to your library so you can quickly drag it back. I've just gotten so used to, like when I'm making the next video, because I'm using Camtasia on a Mac, I can have two Camtasia projects open at one time. You can do that on a Mac. You can't do that with Camtasia for Windows. So what I do is on my big monitor, I'll have, you can see what I'm working with here. On my big monitor, I'll have the project open, the video that I'm making, right? And down here on my smaller monitor will be a completed project that I made previously, typically the last one. And then I would just copy, actually not even, yeah, I could copy, yeah, just copy, like highlight all of this. I'll group it together, highlight it all, copy it, go up to my existing project and paste it. And there it is. The only thing I have to be careful about is if I ever save the original project that I was working on, like if I move that off of my computer onto my my NAS, like my external storage where I put all my projects, the new one is still referring to the images and whatnot that were in the old one. So if I move that off the drive, then I'm going to have some broken links, right? Now, a way around that is you can save a project as a zip file. That's what you do in Windows. And in Mac, you can too. It's called saving it for Windows. And you just save it as a zip file. And then when you open up a new project, you want to start again, you import that zip file and it brings everything in with it. So all of the assets that were with it. So all of the screen recordings, all the videos, B-rolls, call-outs, text, everything you had background music, everything that was in your project goes with a zip file, if that's how you save your Camtasia projects. And I encourage you to do that. That's what I always did. I mean, again, I worked with Camtasia for Windows for many years. So all of my past projects, I have them saved that way. It does double up, right? Like if you're saving something in the zip file, you also have all of those files in their original location as well. But if space is not a concern, that's what I would recommend. And you could even delete the original location of them once you do that. So yeah, so anybody has any questions about this and how I did this, or anything else, let me know. Just feel free to leave a message in the chat, and I will answer you. But that's how I make the custom animation, the custom transition in Camtasia. Because sometimes the transitions Camtasia has a ton of transitions, right? They have, if you go over to transitions here, a ton. I don't have to spend time going through that, but like, I don't want to say they have too many, but they have more than I need. Some people might like ones that I don't like, so it's not a bad. It's good that they have so many, right? So many transitions, and there's some in here I didn't even know about. No, that's a good one. Noise, you can see that being used. A lot of transitions work better too if you add sound effects to them as well. You don't add sound effects to the transition. You would add sound effects onto their own track, right, in Camtasia, but apply it like a whoosh sound. And actually, no, I didn't do that. I don't have a whoosh sound as that. I don't think so anyways.
If there's anything else you'd like to know how to...
Oh, I do. That didn't sound like it was lined up, though. Is that lined up in the right place?
If there's anything else you'd like to know...
Oh, wait now. I'm going to control... I changed all the... There. I had changed all of the animations to linear. So I just Control-Z'd them all back.
If there's anything else you'd like to know how to...
Okay, that's right here. That is the sound effect right there. Torch swoosh. And that is... that would be under my media bin. Should be down here somewhere. That torch swoosh right there, ES, so Epidemic Sound is where I got that one. Another service that I use for music and sound effects. So
if there's anything else you'd like to know how...
Download sound effects and apply them. They'll make your transitions more effective, right? So there you go. What is next? If there's no questions on that, what do I have next? YouTube thumbnails. Everybody cool with me moving on to YouTube thumbnails, how I do that? Again, we don't have to create one from scratch, or we can if you want me to. But let me just change what I'm showing on my screen down here. I'll just close that out, and I'm not going to save everything we did in that file. And let me bring down Camtasia. And let me show you what I'm doing. Okay, so not Camtasia, sorry, Canva. This is Canva. I have the paid version of Canva because there's some things that there's tools in here that I use that you need the paid version to do. But if I were to go here, you can see I've used it for a lot of things over the years. Here we go, thumbnails. Let me double click here to get into this. Here's where I make my thumbnails. Okay, let me move me out of the way. Yeah, I think the bottom corner makes the most sense. And I can also shrink this down a little bit. Okay, so as you can see, if I shrink this right down, I've got lots of thumbnails in here. Ever since now I don't know if you remember, but maybe about 1 or 2 months ago, one of the live streams I did, that's where this thumbnail came from. I quickly made that in a live stream. Okay, and then here is a thumbnail for my live streams, right, that I made. And the reason I have these all in the same file is because I can reuse a lot of these things over and over again. Okay. Just think. Okay. I lost the live there for a second, but you're still here, I think. So yeah, I reuse a lot of the things over and over again. So these are all the ones. This here's the one that I came out with, the video that I came out with yesterday. Here's a sneak peek of the next three, here, here, and here. The next three? That one too, that's right. This one was going to come out before. So anyway, that's the video coming out tomorrow, YouTube chapters. And then this one the next day, or Friday, and then next week I've got these top two coming out. So really quick, so what I've done is I've put my face in all of my thumbnails. That's all part of the branding thing. You don't have to do that. It's a conscious decision that I've made. It all depends on what kind of YouTube channel you're making and what the point of it is. Like if you're making, you don't have to show your face. A lot of people don't want to show their face, and they just want, in fact, a lot of people are starting to make YouTube videos using AI. They may or may not have an AI avatar, but they'll be using ChatGPT to help them write the script, and they'll even use AI to put together the video bits. AI is definitely a thing that's sticking around, right? But I would recommend, if at all possible, to put your face in as branding, because I think it would have, unless you have a really good idea, something that's really unique, or you're serving a niche that is underserved, like with your content. If you're making videos that people want to see and they're not able to find them elsewhere, then you may not need your face, right, in them. The only reason that I think it's good, it's for branding. If you want to get people used to seeing your face all the time, then it's just another way that people can quickly, they'll see a thumbnail and say, oh, that's one of Rob's videos, right? You'll get more and more recognized. So that's why I put my face on the thumbnails. I also put my face in the videos. So you've probably seen tutorial videos where it just starts off and all you see is the screen, and then you see all the steps going through. It may be a real voice, or it may not be. It may be an AI voice. It may be no voice. It might just be subtitles, right? For the most part, if people are looking for tutorials, if they're looking at tutorial videos, it's because they're looking to learn how to do something, right? There's something that they need to know how to do. So they searched it on YouTube, they found it, they watched the video, they can do the thing now. That's a typical tutorial video. So I don't want to spend very much time, and I've learned this over the years. In fact, I've learned a lot in the last few months. Although I show my face in the beginning of my videos, it's for a very short amount of time, because I've seen the metrics. If my face is in the video for any longer than, say, 10 or 15 seconds, and I haven't gotten to the point of the video, people are leaving, right? They're going to another video where they can learn how to do what they want to do faster. They don't want to see all the fluff. They don't want to see some dude just speaking to the camera, and then they don't want to watch this dude's ad. Like I had some of my earlier videos was up to a minute of me talking about the fact that I'm going to do a live stream or that I have a website and all this stuff. They don't care for the most part. Now, over time, in time, they'll care more and more, right? If they get a connection to you, they recognize you, or if for those of you who drop into the live stream, we're chatting, we're getting to know each other a little bit, maybe then it's okay. It's more okay then. But at the stage I'm at now, trying to grow the channel, and it's still relatively small, I got to keep my intros small, but I am still going to put my face in there, and then I'm going to still put my face down in the bottom corner, like I am right now in this live. And I do that in the YouTube videos as well. And then at the end, I'll have a little spiel about, I'm going live on Tuesday, whatever. Just leave that to the end. So that's the plan. That's the strategy. So if you can put yourself in the videos, and if you're going to put yourself in the videos, I recommend putting yourself in the thumbnails as well. Okay? Again, you may not get returns from that right away, but eventually you will. It's like branding. It's like when people... Oh, cat. Go over there. It's when companies buy advertising, right? Sometimes they buy advertising because let's say if they spend $1,000, they want to get $2,000 back in orders, for example. Okay, that's an advertising campaign that's centered on a return on your investment. But there's other less quantifiable ways to advertise, and that would be branding. So maybe you're going to spend $1,000 a month on branding, like just getting your name out there. You may not be able to measure if you get any sales from that yet, but in time, people will get to know you, right? They'll get to know your brand. So whether it's your face, whether it's your logo, whether it's whatever it is, think of the Nike swoosh, right? That logo, if you see that, you don't even need to see the word Nike underneath that, right? You understand that's Nike, right? The McDonald's golden arches. You don't need to see McDonald's underneath that. If you see the golden arches, you know it's McDonald's. That's because of all the branding they've done for decades. So in time, maybe people will see my face and they'll say, oh, this must be another Camtasia video, or oh, this must be a YouTube video, or something like that, right? So I'm in the videos, so I'm in the thumbnails. And you may or may not have noticed that the thumbnails, so my picture in the thumbnails is slightly different. Not every time. Some of them are the same, like this one here is the same as this one here, right? And I think there it is again, that one there, right? So some of them, I've got 4 or 5 different ones. And quite honestly, so what I do, the way I've done this is with Camtasia open. Now, this is not the proper way to do it, but I'll tell you how I do it. With Camtasia open on my big monitor, what I do is I find a spot in the video where I'm talking, right? And I find a frame that looks okay, like that I think looks good, or like my facial expression, whether it's a smile or whatever I'm looking for, right? And then I'll take a screenshot of just that. Like I'll make it as large as I can in the Camtasia program, and so it's Control-Shift-4 on a Mac, right? Or Command-Shift-4. And then you drag the corners. I take a snapshot of that, and then I drop it in over here. This is my uploads in Camtasia. Sorry, in Canva. Get these mixed up. These are all my uploads. So you can see, oh, if you click one, it goes right in there. But you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. You can see all these upload. Is that the one? Oh, it might be that one. Let me create a new one here, and I'll click this. Yeah, so that is, I'll make this bigger so you can see what's going on. This image I got from that, right? And you might think, oh, how'd you do that? It doesn't look the same. Well, there's a couple things. The first thing I do is I remove the background, okay? Well, first, so to make this thumbnail, there is a background back there first. This here, why don't I duplicate this one? There. So now if I mess this up, I still have a copy. This here, I'll click and move it. That's the background, okay? And what it is, it's actually, oh, you can see I have another, I forgot to delete that behind it. So this is actually a frame. 1 second. Go up. Okay. She's probably going to ask to come back in. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, this was a frame that I found in Canva, okay? And then I dropped my own image screenshot into the frame. So I wanted a frame of a laptop. You can see it's a laptop. And then you can see that as a screenshot of Google Drive, okay? That's how I got that in there. But now back to my picture. So with the picture highlighted, I'm going to come up here to Edit Photo, BG Remover right here. Very similar to in Camtasia. Camtasia has the background remover. This has background remover, okay? And there you can see what it did. Now, what's really cool about this in Canva is not only did it remove the background, it gives me the option to fix some things. Now, I don't see anywhere here where it might have messed up. This was a very good removal of the background, okay? But for example, If some of my chair was left here, I could use this erase tool because I've got an erase tool and a restore tool. So I could click on erase and just start erasing. Okay. Now I can Control Z to undo that. Okay. But let's say I erase this and then I thought, oh no, I didn't mean to do that. Click restore and then you can start restoring all of it. Okay. Oh, I restored too much though, so I can go erase. And let's erase this like that. So my line is not as straight as what they had. So I'm just going to go Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, all the way back. Okay. Control Z is your friend in most programs. Camtasia as well as Canva. So background is removed. When you're finished, fixing this up, if you have to do any additional edits, I don't. You just click on, where do we go? Oh, just click this arrow here to get out of background remover. Okay, there, the background is removed. So I'm going to copy this one, copy and paste. So just get another copy of it, and I'm going to put it up here. Let's move this out of the, where'd it go? That didn't work. Oh yeah, it's here. There we go. So here's a new background. I want to put it behind the picture of me. So backwards, there we go. So here's the new background. Here's the new me right here. Oh, whoop, did you see that? You can tell this was a frame. It snapped my picture into the frame. I don't want to do that. So Control Z, back out of there. Control Z. Okay, so let me just move this out of the way a little bit so that doesn't happen again. You can see when it kind of goes translucent like that, it's about to drop it into the frame. So I'm still holding my left mouse button down. I'll bring it back. There we go. And I can use the arrow keys to move it over, or if I wanted to move it over faster, I hold Shift down and the arrow keys. Okay. I'll just check in the messages here. Pamela Powers says, I was told in graphic lessons that the face should look to the text as the viewer's eyes go with the picture is looking and draws to the text. I agree, 100%. And I'm not here, am I? I'm kind of looking away, but using my finger to point backwards. Yeah, no, 100%. I totally agree with you, and that makes the most sense. I probably didn't put as much thought into this as I should have, but I definitely don't profess to be an expert graphic designer. I've learned a few things here and there along the way, enough to be dangerous, I guess. Enough to be able to make thumbnails. But yeah, no, you're right with that. I should be looking at that. And it's actually the same reason why, I mean, you see in this video now where I am in the bottom corner, right? You can see me right here. I'm in the bottom corner of the screen, but I'm not looking at the screen. Notice I'm looking to your right, but my screen's to the left. I don't know if you noticed in the Camtasia videos that I've made, I've flipped like 180 degrees on the y-axis. I flipped myself so that even though I'm looking like this, flipping myself makes me looking like this. So it flips the whole background and everything too. But I do that so it makes it look like I'm kind of facing where I'm working in Camtasia on the timeline and whatnot. So valid point. Okay, so the next thing to do here is I'm going to make it a little bit larger. Quite a bit larger. I'm just looking at the one below, trying to make it close. Okay, let's bring this background back like this. Okay, it's still not the same, so what else can we do? What's the difference? It looks like my face is lighter here, right? So let's click on this and go up to Edit Photo. I mean, you could leave it like that if you want, but my face is lighter here, and there's also a glow around as well. And there's so many different things you could do. Some people put a glow around. Some people put like a solid line around. But in this case, I used a glow. So if you come over here, so I clicked Edit Photo, and then up here, let's click on, I'm trying to remember which one I did first. I don't think it matters, but let's go to Adjust, okay? And here is where you can do some color grading, right? A little more color grading options than you see in Camtasia, but still some powerful things. So you can change the temperature, more warm or more cool, right? I don't think that's what I want to do. I think that I might turn it down a little bit, I suppose. But what I'm mainly after is brightness, which is here. So I can turn the brightness up like that. That looks too washed out, obviously. That's too dark. So just kind of play with these until you... So now I'm looking a little more orange, I think. So maybe the temperature does have to come down a bit or up. Anyways, you can play with it. Maybe some contrast will help this be sharper or a little less. You just play with these levers until you see something that looks good. And it does take practice too, because sometimes you can get into this and then you think, what the heck did I do? Like, that doesn't look anything like what I wanted it to look like. So, I mean, this is getting close. The blacks, that adds some shadow. Okay. So anyways, you do those adjustments, maybe a little bit bright. Actually, I think I like this better than this even. Look a little too white there. Whoops, Control Z. Come back. What did I do? There we go. Let's get back into Edit Photo. Adjust. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is, let's go back to Effects here. Let's add that glow. So the way you do that is down here with Shadows. The effect, Shadow Effect. Adam says, I will sometimes use Camtasia to create thumbnails because I can move things around faster. I'll add the clip to a top track and adjust the canvas size to 720p and export the image that way. Great idea. Yeah, for those who are very comfortable working in Camtasia and you have better luck with moving things around there, absolutely. Make your thumbnails right in Camtasia. I think I've done that before too. It's been a while, but yeah, you don't... Canva, I think it's kind of it's the trendy option right now. Photoshop is always the image editing software that people have used in the past, or even I think Illustrator, but they can be complicated if you don't have if you're not used to them. Adam says mine are not as good as yours though. Haha. Oh, I don't know. I'm sure they're just fine, and I am certainly no expert. It's one of those things though. The more you do them, the better you're going to get at it, right? So. Anyways, back to the glow. So Edit Photo, click on Shadows, and there is a glow option right here. You can add a drop shadow, an outline. So outline, that would be, this is what I talked about when people add lines like that. And you can change the angle. Let's see, no, the distance. Oh, that's more for the drop shadow. Color, oh, where's the, oh, distance, here we go. Size. Okay, you can change all these things. You can change the color. Maybe you want it to go white. See that look a lot on thumbnails. Okay, or you can go with glow, and that's what I did here. Now you can see it's starting to look a lot more like the one down below. Let's make it even bigger. Let's use the shift and the arrow keys to move it. That cat is crying again outside my door. Okay, and you can change the, the blur amount. Okay, the intensity of the glow, right? All that stuff. And then bring in a logo. So right here is where I uploaded the Google Drive logo. I put it up in the corner here. I gave it a bit of a rotation. And then for text, quite honestly, I will highlight what I like from a project below, copy, and then come back up here. Whoops. Control V to paste, and then I can edit it, right? New text. I can edit what I'm saying. I can edit change the size. I can move it around, whatever. That is how I make my thumbnails currently in Canva, and then I'll export those. So when you're finished with this, So this is page 2. I'm not very good at giving these titles, right? Each new design you have in the same file is on a different page, right? So what you do, so this is page 2. I would go up here to share. I would click download. And right now it's going to download all 15 pages. I don't want that, obviously. So I would go here. I would deselect all pages, and I would just select page 2. If you downloaded everything, which you certainly can, what you'll get is a zip file that downloads, and then all the PNG images will be inside the zip file. But if you just download one, you just get the PNG file. So if we just download this, done. I don't need to make this transparent, right? That, incidentally, is one of the biggest reasons for going with the Pro version of Canva, because having a transparent background is only possible with the paid version. Okay, and I do use that a lot. Pamela Powers says that one is neat because your face is looking at the viewer and the finger is pointing to the text. Yes, true. True. And quite honestly, sometimes that with me is an accident. I put some thought into this, but again, not a professional designer. So some things that work out good are accidents. So then we just click done, and then we would click, so no transparent background, and we click download, and it downloads. And I'll just kind of pull it over. I'll double click that because it opened up, and here it is. There's my thumbnail, and I can upload that to YouTube. Yeah, so that is that. Now back to the if I were going to download something here, let's say I was going to download that same. Well, let's download the image above. Oh no, let me back out of here. I know what I want to show you. Let's go into this file. This might look familiar because it is this here. See this all this text right here on the screen? I made that overlay in Canva as well. So you notice how it's see-through. You can see my hand through there. So if we look here, right, this is the overlay that I made. So we've got my web address down here, the logo, Camtasia's logo I brought in here, and then all this text. And what I've done is I've saved these from previous live streams. So I can scroll down here, and you can see there's one version, 2 versions, 3 versions. So the only difference is some of these points I don't have highlighted. I wasn't exactly sure how I was going to show them on the screen, but I exported all of them, right? So if I come back to the screen here, right now I have the 3rd one highlighted, but if I turn that off, there's the one with just the top part highlighted. That's the top 2 parts and all 3 parts, right? So I export all 3 of those images, and I just made them. I typed the text, right? Changed the font color of this, and the way I got the see-through background is this box here is actually a black box with transparency of 50%. See, it's 50% opaque. So I could turn that right up to black, then it wouldn't be see-through. I could turn it totally off, then you wouldn't see the white text at the top, right? So I changed that to 50% transparency, or 50% opaque, or 50% see-through, and that's how I achieved that. So then, when I create this, when I export that, that is when I definitely need to click this transparent background, right? Otherwise, if I don't, and you wouldn't have that option with the free version, if you don't do transparent background, then all of this white here is going to go with your screen, with your image. Your image is going to include the white in the middle, okay? And obviously I don't want that because I want myself to, so the white would just be covering over top of me here. Now, there is kind of a way around that, although this would not fix. So the fact that this is see-through, I don't think it would allow you to do that. But in OBS has the ability to remove backgrounds as well. So in Canva, if I made all of this white, if I made it, say, green, a different green to this green in the Camtasia logo, okay, like a fluorescent green, a green screen, right? If I turned this all into a green screen, then when I brought that image and then I save it, without the transparent background, which you would have to do if you had the free version of Canva, then in OBS, when I brought the image in, I can apply an alpha channel to it and I can remove everything that's green, the same way you'd remove a green screen in OBS, right? That's when you see somebody, gaming on a gaming channel and they have in the greens, they have whatever, the background is see-through, so that it's like they're in the game. That's because they typically have a green screen behind them and it's getting keyed out live in OBS. Okay, so there is a work around that. There you go. So that was a brief lesson on Canva and how I use it basically every day. So as you can see, these are the 3 that I exported for today, and then I had all these ones from last week. Not all these ones. I've deleted some of them. That's right. They weren't all in the same file. Over in this file here, this is where they all were. So yeah, once I open a file, I end up putting a whole bunch of things in these. And then there's the ones from the week before, right? So anyway, those are the 2 things I use Canva for: making my overlays for the live streams and making the thumbnails. And there's other things I use it when I need certain graphics for videos as well. I'll use them for that as well. Any questions on any of that? Is that cool? Are we good? How long? What are we at now? It's 10 after 3, so we've been at this for a little over an hour. My first drink in an hour. So, next on the list, if there are no questions about any of that, is the custom paper trail. And we can thank Pamela Powers for this question. It's kind of a neat idea. So basically, let me open up a copy. Well, we're going to need both. We're going to need Canva and Camtasia. So let's go back to Camtasia here. Now let's say the custom paper tear is basically a custom background behind like a heading. So let's just kind of set up our canvas here. Let's make this white background. No, I don't want to make it white. Let's make it something else. Cyan looks good. Let's delete this. You know what? I don't love that color. Too aggressive. So let's change this somewhat. Let's make it a little bit darker. There we go. Okay, so let's say there's our background. Now let's say we wanted a text box here. You could go annotation. Let's go with a shape. I'll just go to my favorites because it's the shape I like to use. Okay, so I'm going to turn off my canvas snapping so I can move this wherever. Okay, so now let's make this, let's make it white. So we'll come in here, change this to white. Okay, and then let's add some text to it. So let's change the text to, you guys can all see this, right? I'm not doing this just for myself. I think you can all see this. Okay, so there's some text. This is a heading. Okay, let's just get rid of this. Let's change the font. Let's go bold. Let's move the size. Okay, I'm just kind of, I suppose I could have had this set up ahead of time, but I didn't, so we'll just go with this. Let's do this live. Okay, this is a heading, and then we'll go copy and paste, so I have another text here, and just this is more text. Paragraph. I can't even spell. Paragraph goes here with whatever you want to type. How's that? All right. Anyway, just kind of setting this up. Let's just make this a little bigger. So that looks kind of boring. How can we spruce this up? How can we make this look a little bit better? We can even put like a logo or something in there. Let's go my projects. Let's go with this one. Talked about that already. Same one. Throw a little logo in here. Okay. But and then we may have a picture, whatever's in the background. But in order to make this look better, the first thing that pops to my mind, I mean, we can add a border to this, right? If we go to visual effects, we can add a border like that. Okay, and then with the border selected over here, obviously you can't see it because it's the same color. It's white. Let's change it to black. Right, and then change the thickness. Okay, now you have a border. Okay, well, for demonstration purposes, I don't want this to be black. Let's make it a blue border. Okay, it's blue, and then the other thing you can do that I usually like to do is add a drop shadow. So it's right here, drop shadow. We'll add. You can either drop it onto it on the timeline here, or sorry, on the canvas or on the timeline. Either way would work. You drop it on the shape. Okay, so now we have, right, a little shadow behind this, a drop shadow. And if you want to see it better, you can change the offset down here, right? Change the offset. You can change, you know, the blur, the amount of blur and the opacity. Okay, so anyways, that's looking a little bit better. But still, what I want to show you is how to do the paper. And Pamela is thinking, I thought we were going to do the paper tear. Look, what are you doing? Well, there's nothing in Camtasia that will allow you to do that. So what I did is I went to Canva. So let me drag this down here. Let us start. Well, actually, well, here, you can see it right there. Let's open up this project. I was already in here and I found this. So let me just delete that. This is what I found. And the way I found, that's the edge of paper, right? A paper tear. If you come up here to elements and then you search paper tear, you're going to be given a bunch of options. Some are under photos, some are under graphics. You want to go under graphics. Click the see all here and you'll have all kinds of different options, right? I don't even remember which one I chose, but I mean, we can choose this one. Say that's a slightly different one, right? This one is paper tear, but has some lines on it. So they're all a little bit different. There's also magic recommendations, all kinds of choices, right? And if you see this little crown here underneath any of these images, that's if you are using the free version of Canva. You would then have to pay extra to be able to use any of the ones that have those crowns there, okay? But if you have the pro version, then they're included for free. So if you need, and you also, incidentally, to do this, you need to be able to make the background transparent, which means you do need the pro version of Canva to do this anyways. So these options would all be there for you. So that's going to be our edge. And then all I did was I came up here to, let's X out this search. And in elements, under shapes, I grabbed a square like this. Then I kind of lined it up like that. Okay, and then to make it the same color as this, I highlight it and I go up to color. And then I would click that. It's probably that color. No, it's not. Not exactly. So let's try this again. Let's click this add new color and click the eyedropper tool and select this color. There. That should be exact. Now, there is a line that you can see between them. So to get rid of that, just use the up arrows to hide one a little bit behind the other. Okay. There's our new image. And you could group it together. So if you highlight one, press Shift, highlight the other, right click, click on group. Now it's one image. Okay? That's all we're going to do in Canva. That is all I do here. The next thing I want to do is export this. Okay? So it doesn't matter. The only reason I have a blue background here is because I wanted to be able to see what I was doing. This would be hard to do if this was on a white background. You wouldn't be able to see what you're doing. But regardless, this background is blue, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to export this without the background. Okay, so let's go up to Share, click Download, click Transparent Background, right? And then Download. Now you see we don't have the options to what pages we want to download. That's because this is the only page I have in this file. So click Download. And I never changed the name of it. So it's called untitleddesign.png, and it's in my Downloads folder. So let me move this off the screen, out of the way. Okay, now we're back here in Camtasia. You can still see me, yes. And let's drag in our untitled design like this. Just drag it right onto the Canva. And you'll see, if you click on Media, you'll see that it showed up here in Media. And as you can tell, it's the same size. It's 1920 by 1080. Same size as our project, but we can crop that in to make it a little easier to work with. Let's just click on the crop icon here, drag this in like this, drag this up, drag this in. Not going to come all the way in, like that, and then we'll turn our selector tool back on again. There we go. Now, if that's too big, we can size it down, just like that. Okay, so now let's get this information that's in here over to this one. Okay, so let's just click and highlight that. I'm holding my Shift down and clicking that text and that logo. And as I did that, now I release Shift. As I did that, you can see they all got selected down here. So you could select them down here as well, whichever you prefer. Now I'm going to hit Control-C to copy, or Command-C in a Mac. And now and then Control-V. That created, as you can see here, another copy of those three things right here. Now they are all still selected, so I can click anywhere here, click, hold, drag over to here, and release. And now click here to unselect it. There you go. Now, what you're probably waiting for is, with this highlighted, can I use this drop shadow effect? This is why I did not apply the drop shadow in Canva, because when you export something that has a drop shadow with a transparent background, it doesn't always import nicely or as well, unless that drop shadow has no blur, right? It could have opacity, like 30%, whatever. That would be fine. But if there's any blur at all, if the edges are feathered or there's any blurring at all, it won't look good if you bring it into another program. It won't look as good as it could. So that's why we're going to add the drop shadow here now that it's in Camtasia. So with this highlighted, let's come over to Visual Effects, go find our drop shadow, and we'll drop it right there. And let's play with the settings. And as you can see, the drop shadow was added. And there you go. Whoops, Control-Z. You can also highlight all of these things and group them, right click, group. Now that whole thing with text is all one box you can drag around and put wherever you want. And you could even resize it if you want, like that. Okay? That is how I would create a paper tear edge on a call out in Camtasia, but I had to use Canva to do it as well. Hopefully that helped, Pamela. Is that looks very similar to the image that I think you were looking to recreate. So hopefully that helped. you out in learning how to do that. Any questions about any of that? I am going to switch the views. Renee says, nice work. Thank you, Renee. Hopefully everyone learned something today or whenever I do these live things. Sometimes it's easier to watch people do things than it is to, try to figure it out yourself or read instructions and whatnot. So Pamela Power says, yes, awesome. 2 thumbs up for me. Glad I could help. So that's, where are we? I think that's all that I had written down under the today. So again, for once this is over, so I've been at this for an hour and a half. I'll stay for longer if you guys have any more questions, but I'll just give you a little sneak peek of what's coming next. So as I had said, I wanted to increase the frequency of me coming out with new videos, and I've done that, and I've got 4 more ready to go, already uploaded in YouTube, with the thumbnails, with the descriptions. Everything is set to go, and I've set the time. It's really neat the way you can do that in YouTube. You can set a schedule up, so I know my next 4 videos are going to go out tomorrow, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, all at 10 a.m. my time, so 9 a.m. Eastern. Pamela says, oh, it's always good to see someone do it. Absolutely. So much easier to see than it is to try to explain in text. The next 4 videos are ready to go. So again, the bulk of my tutorials are on Camtasia and video editing in Camtasia specifically. I will also do some in DaVinci Resolve if anybody wants to see me do anything there. But the first kind of transition, like fork in the road, if you will, is going to be YouTube. Because, the video that I have coming out tomorrow is on YouTube. So for those who use Camtasia, say, to make YouTube videos, it goes without saying that you probably also want to learn some things about YouTube, maybe how it works and how you can get better at that, and everything that goes along with YouTube, like making thumbnails, like we talked about today. So I'm going to. The plan right now is 3 new videos a week. 2 of those are Camtasia videos, and 1 of those will be something else. So this week, that something else is YouTube. So tomorrow's video is on YouTube chapters. And then the other 2 videos this week were the cloning video yesterday, and then the animated color wipe video coming out on Friday. Okay. Next week, going to have 2 Camtasia videos. One is the pro level zoom and pan. The other one is yet to be decided, but I've got till next Friday to create it. And then the other video next week is about Google Drive and how you can use that as a video editor, YouTuber, freelancer, whatever, right? And then after that, I'm probably going to do another YouTube video. It'll depend on how the videos do, right? It's what you guys want to see. Whatever you guys want to see from me, let me know. I've been kind of going at this YouTube thing for a couple of years now. Only really starting to get serious with it lately. But there's a lot to it. I mean, there's a lot to it. I could get into camera gear. I could get into computer gear and tripods and whatever. Live streaming is actually probably makes a lot of sense to get into how I do live streams and stuff like that. So if there's anything you want to learn about any of that stuff, just let me know. And basically, the more votes for a certain thing will win, and that'll be what my next video is on. So let's see how tomorrow's video goes, the YouTube video that I'm coming out with. It's fairly short. I think it's only 4 minutes, something like that. Just taking a quick look here. 4:42, so less than 5 minutes. And then Friday's video is less than 4 minutes, so 2 short ones. And then the zoom and pan one is 13 minutes, a little bit longer. And the Google Drive one is less than 4 minutes as well. So, still unsure of what works best, the shorter ones or I feel like for tutorials, the shorter the better, right? Like typically for tutorials, there's something you want to learn. And I've told you what I'm about to tell you in the thumbnail and the title of the video. So presumably, once you click on that, you want to learn that thing, and you want to learn that thing as quickly as you can, typically. So when I'm doing tutorial videos, if it's something simple, if I'm showing an effect in Camtasia or an animation or whatever, I'll try to present it as quickly as I can. And I'm going to keep the fluff away from the beginning. I'm going to keep my intros short. And you may notice they're getting even shorter and shorter. I think my last one was less than 10 seconds before I got right into it. So I don't even say who I am. I leave that till the very end. I'm Rob. Just a quick little, this is what I'm going to tell you. 2 seconds showing the title and then get right into it. But where the videos may be longer is, of the 2 Camtasia videos that I post every week, I would like one of them to be a little more advanced. So this week, yesterday's, that was, how long was that one? That one was the cloning one, was a little bit longer, I think. It was 19 minutes, right? So longer, and it's doing quite well actually, but it took a while for me to explain how to do all that, how to make the 3 copies of myself and all that. And the one 2 weeks before that on pro level animations, I went through like all the different animations you could do to make your tutorial videos pro. I called it my favorite Camtasia animations in 2024. That was 33 minutes, and it's also doing well. So my longer ones are tending to be doing better, but I think for helping people with tutorials, I can make a shorter one faster, obviously, and I think they're a little more effective. So, I'll do that balance. So every once in a while, I'm going to come up with a longer, more involved, from start to finish, how to do a little more complex thing that might be a 20 to 30 minute video. But then I'll also keep pumping out the shorter ones as well. And I'm going to keep doing this, and then going live on Tuesdays to talk about what I did and what we did in the previous week and what's coming out next, and to go through some tutorials with you guys on Tuesdays. So that's 4 times a week coming out with content. And I'm going to do that until they come out with the next version of Camtasia 2024. And as soon as they do that, all of my videos are going to be on 2024 version, and the new stuff that hopefully there's all kinds of new stuff we get with the latest version of Camtasia, and I'll go through all of those. Adam says, I learned so much from your Fiverr videos. I'd like to see an update on the Fiverr progress. Okay, Fiverr progress is in my personal Fiverr progress, or because I could do that. It's interesting because with Fiverr, so that's where I earn most of my money right now, is through Fiverr. I'm a freelancer through Fiverr. But I got my start in Fiverr through subtitling videos, something very simple, but I used Camtasia to do it. And I also use DaVinci Resolve to do it as well, depending on what people are looking for. But the subtitling, if you want to call it industry, there's not as many people looking for subtitlers to help them out, because AI. A lot of these programs now will do a very good job subtitling without a lot of human interaction. So the subtitling side of my freelance business has gone down, but the tutorial video creation part of the business has not. So that's steady or increasing. But I'm trying to scale that back a little bit as I kind of move more towards the YouTube thing and teaching people how to do all this stuff. But yeah, so Adam says, just next level stuff that Fiverr offers, maybe a refresher. Yeah, sure. Absolutely. I could add Fiverr to the list, and I'm sure there's lots of people who'd like to know more about Fiverr. It's a fabulous tool, or marketplace, if you will, for both people looking to sell their services, like video editing services or whatever, copywriting, whatever, logo design, or people who need those things. So we're talking a lot about how to use Camtasia, how to make thumbnails, how to even get into writing descriptions for your YouTube videos and titles and all that stuff. If any of that stuff you need done, but you don't want to do it yourself, Fiverr is an awesome place to go to find people to do the things you don't like to do, if that makes sense. So if any of you are running your own businesses, maybe you're self-employed. Typically, those who are self-employed, myself included, tend to wear a lot of different hats, and sometimes a lot of different hats all at the same time. So you're doing lots of things. You're the designer, you're the copywriter, you're the video editor, you're the videographer, you're the thumbnail designer, you're the accountant, you're the bookkeeper. You do all of it. But I'm sure of all the things that you have to do, there's some things that you love to do, and there's some things that you hate to do. You just do not want to do it. For me, it's the whole bookkeeping and taxes side of things. It's like, if that could just, I just don't want to deal with that. And I don't, once a year, typically, I'll get caught up in all that stuff. Right? But, or maybe you've decided, yeah, I get Canva and I could probably make thumbnails out of that, but I just don't like the look of my thumbnails. I think I'd like to outsource that. Well, then you could go to Fiverr, and there's all kinds of people who will design you thumbnails, and for not very much money either, on Fiverr. Video editing is another thing. If you watch some of, for example, Mr. Beast, his videos tend to be very heavily edited, right? Lots of things going on, and that's one of the ways he's able to keep viewers watching his videos for so long. Next time, just as a fun exercise, pick any Mr. Beast YouTube video and count how many times the scene transitions to another scene in, say, the first 15 seconds even, or 20 seconds. Pick a number. I'd say 15 seconds. I bet you it switches every second or so, or even faster. And then for each transition, there could be text flying in and out, and sound effects going off, and zooms and pans and all this stuff. That's how he keeps people's attention. Now, I've heard that, I've seen interviews where there's a move away from that type of video. I'm going to say in the last 5 years, that was the most effective way to keep people watching videos. But in the last, Pamela says Mr. B or Mr. V. It's Beast. So I'll type it, Mr. Beast. He has, I don't know how, like a lot. Let's just go here. Let's go to YouTube. We'll go Mr. Beast. There he is right there. He only has 248 million subscribers. So I think the estimated revenue that he makes from this channel is something like $55 million a year. So there you go. There's money to be made in YouTube. This is his channel. So if you watch any of the... Oh, what am I doing? You can't even see what I'm doing. I'm sorry. Here you go. So I just typed in Mr. Beast. This is his channel. 248 million subscribers. And so, for example, let's just, I don't know, like, click here. No, I had the volume off, so let's watch.
I just bought this entire grocery store, which includes enough food to literally feed an entire city. And then I decided to trap this random guy inside. And every day you live here, I will give you $10,000 in a grocery cart.
That's wild, dude. Let's go.
Well, I'll give it to you.
Anyways, that's Mr. Beast. He's got a lot. So I don't even know how we got on this. What were we talking about? A move away from that type of video. So, well, if we look at, just go back here. Let's go click on videos and popular, say his most popular. Here's this video here, got 594 million views. And when was that? 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Well, that might be a good. So let's see the beginning of that.
I recreated every single set from Squid Game in real life, and whichever one of these 456 people survives the longest wins 456 grand.
The first game we're gonna play is red light, green light, and they have 30 minutes to.
The thing to remember about Mr. Beast, though, is he spends millions of dollars on every video he makes, right? And when I say he, there's a team, right? It's not just him anymore. It's him and his. Actually, it's mainly him and his buddies. Jimmy Johnson, I think his name is. Jimmy. Yeah, so it spends millions. Like it gives away money and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, so there's a move away from that fast-paced intros to more authentic intros, if that makes sense. People are a little bit more interested in authenticity these days, storytelling, something I'm working on and not very good at right now. So my focus right now is on making tutorials and helping people with Camtasia and stuff in Canva. Yeah, so that's one way with all these fast-moving scene switching, call-outs flying around, stuff like that. Is one way to keep people's attention for as long as you need a good message as well. So, and he has a good hook. Like, I'm about to give away $1 million. You get to watch people fight for it, or whatever it is, right? That's what he does. So I think that was a bit of a tangent. Why did we get on that? Oh, Fiverr. Right. Sorry, Adam. So. So let's say video editing is something that you don't want to do. Like, I know you're here probably because of my editing in Camtasia and we're learning video editing, but there may come a point in time where, and I think knowledge of it is good, even if it's not something you're going to continue to do, but maybe you'll get to a point eventually where you like doing the videography part of it. You like doing the screen capturing and the whatever else, making the thumbnails even. And maybe it's the actual video editing and putting it all together and making it look good that you don't like to do. Well, you could hire that out. You could go to Fiverr and hire a video editor, and he or she will take care of that for you. So Fiverr's great for that, both sides. If you're somebody looking for a job or looking to start a business and want to sell what you do, you can do that on Fiverr. Or if you have a business and you just need some help, you can go to Fiverr and get help with whatever you need. Translations, subtitling, whatever. But yeah, no, I'll give, I can expand on that, probably make a Fiverr video. I'll put that on my list. Great. Okay, so next, upcoming, so we talked about what's upcoming. I've got these, the next 4 videos set to come out. If there's anything else you want to see come out from me as well, any other videos you'd like to see me post, or if there's anything else you'd like to see me go through on a live stream, let me know in the chat, or once this is over, since we're probably going to call this quits shortly, leave a comment below. And for those of you who are watching this on the replay, leave a comment below and let me know what you'd like to see from this channel. And you guys can kind of decide where this goes from here. So I'm going to continue on the Camtasia path for the foreseeable future, and we'll just see where that goes. Things seem to be growing. There seems to be a lot of positive feedback. So I think I'm doing some things right for now, but we'll see. Things obviously can change. So yeah, so I think that's it for today. Thank you, everybody, for stopping in and putting up with me for close to 2 hours. And we'll do this again next Tuesday, same time, same place. Until then, watch for 3 videos to come out. So tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, a video will come out, and then Friday again. And then I will see you live next week. Okay, have a good one.